By the early 5th century, the Roman Empire was fracturing. In Gaul, modern-day France, political structures were collapsing, and civic life was becoming increasingly volatile. With secular stability operating, people began searching for a different kind of permanence. Enter Hilary. Born around the year 401 into a notable aristocratic family, he had every worldly advantage. He was highly educated, immensely wealthy, and positioned for a comfortable civic career. Yet, despite his social standing, he was plagued by a profound internal emptiness. His respected kinsman, a prominent ascetic named Honoratus, recognized this spiritual exhaustion. Honoratus persistently urged the young nobleman to walk away from his inheritance. Eventually, the plea worked. Hilary gave away his riches and abandoned his public honors entirely. He followed Honoratus to the isolated island of Lerins in the Mediterranean Sea. Here, Hilary submitted himself to a grueling daily routine. He embraced severe fasting, absolute poverty, and an intense, relentless study of scripture. This was the monastic ideal in practice. Hilary willingly stripped away every ounce of earthly privilege to seek absolute spiritual purity in silence. But that silence wouldn't last. Years later, Honoratus, who had previously left the island to become the Archbishop of Arles, fell fatally ill. Hilary traveled back to the mainland to be by his mentor's side during his final hours. After Honoratus passed, Hilary immediately prepared to return to his quiet island monastery. Instead, he walked into an ambush. The citizens and local clergy physically blocked his departure, detaining the young monk by force. They demanded he take his mentor's place. Against his fierce objections, the crowds proclaimed Hilary the new archbishop. He was forced to stay and accept the consecration. The man who had surrendered all his wealth and status to escape the world was now trapped in its highest, most demanding local office. Hilary did not soften his monastic habits to fit his new title. He required the cathedral clergy in Arles to form a strict congregation, forcing them to adopt the severe asceticism he practiced on the island. He also leveraged his classical education. He became widely renowned for his eloquence and intellectual depth, authoring several texts, including a revered biography of his mentor, Honoratus. He wrestled with the friction between human free will and divine grace, a stance categorized as semi-Pelagianism. It suggested that while divine grace is strictly necessary, the human will must take the first active step toward God, keeping the two in a delicate balance. That same demand for active human effort drove his administrative style. He showed zero tolerance for canonical violations. When a neighboring bishop named Chelidonius was accused of unfitness for office, Hilary swiftly convened council and deposed him. Shortly after, he acted with similar aggression. Learning that another bishop, Projectus, was severely ill, Hilary rushed to consecrate a replacement to ensure the church remained efficient, entirely bypassing the local clergy's input. His extreme severity, born in the isolation of a monastery, left him blind to the political realities of the wider church. By rushing to enforce purity, he alienated the people and violated established ecclesiastical protocols. The bishops he ousted did not accept his rulings. Chelidonius traveled directly to Rome, presenting his case to the highest possible authority, Pope Leo the Great. This sparked a massive jurisdictional clash. Hilary traveled to Rome to defend his actions, arguing fiercely for the autonomy and strict purity of local provinces. Pope Leo, however, was actively building a universal, centrally governed church, where Rome held the final word. The Pope's response was absolute. He rejected Hilary's defense, reinstated the deposed bishops, and severely punished Arles. He stripped Hilary of his metropolitan rights, transferring his regional authority to the rival city of Vienne. To ensure there was no further resistance, the Roman state intervened. In 445, Emperor Valentinian III issued Novella 17, an imperial edict that legally backed the Pope, making it a crime against the state to defy the Roman pontiff. A dispute over local church discipline had escalated completely out of control. Hilary's overzealous attempt to enforce regional purity gave Pope Leo the exact legal mechanism needed to solidify papal supremacy across the Western Roman Empire. Faced with this crushing public defeat, Hilary had a choice. He could have rallied his local supporters, incited a schism, or waged a bitter political war against Rome. Instead, he accepted the censure in complete silence. Confined to his own single diocese, he spent his remaining years pouring his energy back into the people of Arles. He focused entirely on the spiritual nourishment and physical charity of his immediate flock, even selling off church vessels to ransom captives. The intense asceticism and the heavy burdens of leadership took their toll. Hilary passed away on May 5, 449, at just 48 years old. Historians often point to Hilary as the foil that allowed Rome to consolidate its power, but the Church remembers him as a saint. His final years proved that his true legacy wasn't found in administrative control, but in his quiet, radiant surrender to a higher authority.